Is Germany a good or a bad place to invest? A new report out by the government's Agency for International Business Promotion points to the country's success in attracting some big names like Apple, Eli Lilly and TSMC last year. But while the money invested appears to have risen to a record high, the number of new investment projects is down slightly. And a recent survey by consulting group KPMG found perceptions of the country had deteriorated among business leaders, with excessive red tape and increasing skepticism towards political stability among the concerns. To talk about this, I'm joined now by Achim Hartig, Managing Director of Germany Trade and Invest. Achim, according to your latest research, foreign companies invested a total of 34.8 billion euros in Germany last year, apparently a record amount, although we should say that other studies have come to less optimistic conclusions. Give us an idea of your methodology. Where did this money go and how did it break down across sectors?
Well, thank you very much. Of course, 34.8 billion euros is a record number for us as well. It's mainly driven by large-scale investment projects, and the number of large-scale investment projects has increased during the last years. In general, if we look at the business sentiment would manifestate in the number of projects of companies deciding to set up shop in Germany. And if you look at the last years, we must say that there's, of course, this carving in at the Corona crisis. But looking at the numbers right now, we have 1,800 projects approximately reaching Germany in 2023. And with this number, we are already connecting to pre-pandemic numbers for foreign direct investments, foreign direct greenfield investments in Germany. So the commitment of foreign companies is unbroken to set up shop in Germany. And I must also say that the nature and the quality of investment has changed. Before the Corona crisis and before the current government, we were pretty agnostic about how industries reached Germany. After that, the aspects of sustainability and resilience in the German economy play a major role. And these two aspects, sustainability and resilience, are also the main attraction points for foreign companies to choose Germany as a business location. 2/3 of the companies coming to Germany in 2023 are investing in those industry sectors that are supporting decarbonization, sustainability, and resilience. The 34.8 billion euros invested last year in Germany are an increase from 25.3 billion euros in the year before. That also shows a huge commitment of foreign multinational companies to select Germany as a business location. And we receive these numbers from the companies directly, and it's also what they publish. So it's available to all other consulting companies as well as, of course, to us, gathering these numbers and accumulating it. This is a commitment to Germany as a business location, and because of the political stability we have currently in Europe. Those companies that are expanding from foreign markets, they are carefully looking at options in Europe, and they are carefully selecting those who offer both large markets providing renewable energies and sustainability and political stability.
Yeah, sure. But I'm wondering, do you have any insight then on why, for example, EY found that foreign direct investment had fallen last year? Is this a fundamental difference in methodology? What's going on?
This is how we count projects. So we are not, let's say, we do not create our numbers ourselves. It's not our accounting. We get the numbers directly from the federal states. So those are doing the research, what kind of companies and how many of those are in fact reaching Germany. And we would say that we have the most comprehensive database about foreign direct investment greenfield projects in Germany because we're working closely together with the so-called Bundesländer, the federal states. So our aggregation is comprehensive here. It includes all investment projects that actually found a legal entity in Germany, and that means for us doing business. Other methodologies might differ from that, but in fact we are also providing the data for the largest and most well-known data providers for foreign direct investments internationally.
Okay, so slightly confusing then, just as a member of the public trying to get your head around this. Let's look at who's investing in Germany, though. The US tops the list of individual countries investing in the country, but the overall bulk of money is still overwhelmingly European. Why is Germany not luring a larger portion of businesses from Asia and North America?
Well, Asia has a larger portion than North America. So Asia is a very important region, economic region for Germany, and not only when it comes to the numbers of projects, but also to highly innovative technologies which are coming from Asia. And I'm thinking about battery technology, I'm thinking about photovoltaics, and I'm thinking also about biotech and robotics, which are industries that are dominant in the Asian countries, and where German companies and the German economy profits a lot from that. The United States traditionally have been a strong contributor to the German foreign direct investment, greenfield investments. So has been Europe, and it is, of course, it goes without saying that if Europe, the markets are organizing in themselves due to the free flows and good of services. So this is ways easier than from any other region to do business in Germany, and this also is reflected in the numbers we have.
If you flip it, German investment in the US has been soaring due to the incentives offered by the Inflation Reduction Act and the Chips and Science Act. The EU has tried to counter this to some extent with the Green Industrial Deal. What can Germany do on a national level to attract more investment in clean industries?
Well, we have a record high in investments in clean industries here. And I think what we have to look at here are the different perspectives of German industries coming from the German ecosystem, looking abroad, and companies that come from international markets, which are established there. These are two absolutely different perspectives, giving also different views on the German ecosystem. If foreign companies looking at Europe, they cannot miss the German market. So they basically have to come to Europe and either choose France or Germany as the largest economic regions to start in. And if we compare these two, of course, we have with Germany the most availability of renewable energies, for example, which is a key success factor for battery production. Car manufacturers, they cannot produce their cars with, without renewable energies. The same goes for data center. And Germany has attracted large, multi-million, hundreds of million data center investments in Germany from a variety of multinationals. So I would say the inflow of renewable energies, of renewable projects, which are investing in renewable energies and are contributing to sustainability, is very high. What we particularly, how we particularly support is there are different levels. First, of course, there is a European funding level where European grants are dedicated to support investments of sustainable nature. The other is that, of course, all investment promotion agencies in Germany, they have geared their strategies towards attracting more companies that are investing in sustainability. So from the strategic side and from the funding side, covered by the political umbrella, I think we are well set up to attract foreign direct investments in sustainability for Germany.
I want to look at some of the major companies that have already made big investments in Germany. One of them is Tesla. It has a huge production facility at Grünheide outside of Berlin with capacity produced to up to 500,000 cars each year. But it has faced huge resistance from climate activists that even had to stop production for a day recently after a suspected arson attack left it without power. How damaging are images like these for Germany's international reputation as a place to do business?
I would say I would go back to the beginning of this interview, because if you look at the numbers, obviously Germany is seen as a large country and a large market, and with a very diverse market. If we're looking at Germany, we have more than 3.5 million small and medium-sized enterprises, and all these companies, being small, medium, or large, they are connecting. They are the dots to connect for foreign companies to do business with as partners, as suppliers. So yes, there might be individual decisions that stir some unrest, but on the other hand, the ecosystem of Germany's industries is large enough to provide business for foreign companies. Hence, the numbers which are not declining. On the contrary, even with the geostrategic and geoeconomic changes we are currently facing in the world, these numbers of foreign direct investments remain stable. And I think this is the important message, because these numbers reflect the commitments of foreign companies that are choosing Germany as their business location.
Let's talk about some of the hurdles that foreign companies do face. So there's a lot of talk about digitalization and reducing red tape in Germany, but I think there is still a prevailing perception that getting things done here takes longer and is more tedious than in other jurisdictions. Can you understand this feeling?
I think there is definitely a difference of nature how business is done in a variety of countries, that's for sure. Also, the different degree of digitalization is reflected in the different economies worldwide. Basically, that's also why we have the strategies, how to and what kind of industries to attract for Germany, because we want to become stronger where we need support in technologies. For example, digitalization is partly very strong. For example, Germany has the highest degree of automation in industrialized countries in the manufacturing industries worldwide. On the other hand, we know that in the B2C sectors and in other parts, digitalization is something we have to really improve and build upon. Again, if this is a factor for Germany as a business location, we do not see this reflected as a negative factor. We see this seen and regarded as an opportunity to do business in Germany. And the current government has undertaken a variety of steps to improve the processes in the administration, which is also seen by foreign investors, that some processes are really working in their favor right now.
What has the government made easier?
When we're talking about investment facilitation, it's all about transparency of processes. And in the part of transparency of processes, our agency, Germany Trade Invest, plays a major role. We are the first contact point for foreign direct investors. So it's our job to show exactly where and how an investment can take place in Germany, show transparency about regulations, about funding options, and particularly about finding the right location. The availability of land is a crucial factor in all of the industrialized countries. And again, here we create transparency so that the tedious process for foreign direct investors and insecurity, maybe complexity, through us, Germany Trade Invest, it's reduced and we facilitate the path. And this is a major step to facilitate foreign direct investments to Germany.
Another factor investors are now considering is political stability. Germany's coalition government has been beset by infighting, and we're generally seeing a shift to more populist right-wing thinking. What does the government need to do to reassure investors that it's got its act together?
Well, it's not our mandate to give political guidelines to the government here. We are feeding back the views of the investors. And the views of the investors are still that the stability of Germany compared to other countries, and this is what investors do, they are making their business case and they're comparing different business locations. When they are looking at Europe, they are comparing the options in Europe, and they choose according to their preferences and according to their profitability in their business case, what kind of location suits their needs best. And from these facts, we don't need hypothesis here. Just from these facts, we see that the trust in Germany is good. And if we look at the past and the past governments, we see that no matter what kind of political party has headed Germany, the stability and the solidity of politics and economy is what makes investors choose Germany.
I want to talk about Germany's labour force as well, because it is ageing. The country's already facing a skills shortage, and immigration reform is pretty slow to progress. This doesn't really seem like a good cocktail for companies that are seeking bright minds. Are they going to bring their own people with them?
This is always a mixture. Many companies bring their own staff because they need this to have the ramp-up phase in Germany faster. Because they already know the processes of the company. On the other hand, Germany can provide high-skilled labor force. We see this, for example, with the commitment of Intel, where several thousand people will be needed to ramp up the semiconductor production around Magdeburg. Intel took this decision to do this major, let's say, major investment after the Second World War in Europe. They took this decision with the knowledge about the situation, about the workforce here. And so do the other companies that invested 34.8 billion in the last year. So they are aware of the situation, and they are also aware of the fact that agencies like ours and the German government, they can provide support here and facilitate also for the availability of workforce, or the cooperation with universities, or the integration into excellence clusters where workforce is also easier available. So this is really something which is already factored in the business cases of the companies and cannot be disregarded. We have to work on that, and we need workforce in Germany. We need immigration to supply a high-skilled workforce for the companies. However, this is currently not an issue for those investors who are obviously coming to Germany and choose it.
All right. Achim Hartig, Managing Director of Germany Trade and Invest, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you.